You're listening to the Marne Report.
Hi, Fort Stewart-Hunter Army Airfield. Kelsey here, back with another edition of the Marne Report podcast. Today I'm joined by Melany Amato, Fort Stewart-Hunter Army Airfield School Liaison Officer. Today we're going to talk all about the School Liaison Office and what they can do for the families and children of our community. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm doing well today, thank you.
All right. So before we get into things, could you share a little bit more about yourself and your role?
Sure. So my name, again, is Melany Amato. I am a parent. I'm also a military spouse, so I feel particularly connected to this role, which is really to be the go-to person for all things school-related for pre-K through 12th grade students. In that I am a bridge for information, for resources, for connection to people that have the right answers for things. So it's a mission that I'm, personally attached to, as well as something that I'm happy to provide to our installation.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. So the new school year is coming up. Can you share what exactly the school liaison officer does?
Sure. So I definitely am able to provide information with the new school year coming up, calendars being posted. I'm trying to work on getting those supply lists out to the community. You can also find all of that information located on the school's websites, the district's websites, letting the community know about open houses and first day of school, like reminders, be on time, things like that. So just trying to push out the message. Don't forget about it. Also know that if you haven't registered for school yet, you have to register for school. That doesn't just happen automatically. So make sure that you're, getting in contact with me if you haven't done that yet so we can make sure that happens.
Is there anything about Fort Stewart-Hunter Army Airfield that makes your job as a school liaison officer, interesting compared to maybe other installations?
So this is the first place I've been a SLO, but I can tell you from what I've listened to, other SLOs talk about, as well as, what I've experienced here, is that we have a really large footprint, right? We have Fort Stewart, we have Hunter Army Airfield, we have Liberty County, Long County, Bryan County, Savannah, Chatham, Effingham, and Dodea. That's all underneath my umbrella. So it's a big job, but there's lots of diversity with that. I've met tons of people. I've gotten to know the neighborhood I live in better, right? I've met people in Liberty County that I would have never known that other things were out there, like diapers at the library and,
oh, wow.
Second Harvest and all of these things that I just wasn't attached to, but I've learned so much more about it. So it's made me even an even better resource, honestly, to be able to know other stuff that's going on out there and share that with our community.
No, that's really important. And I feel like that helps you do your job better once you build those connections.
Yeah, for sure. In the military community, we have some issues, right? Like we face things that are a little bit more complex than I think maybe the civilian world might see, right? We have the deployments. We also have, the problems that come with that coming and going, families trying to figure out how that works. And then you move on top of that to new locations and you need help.
Yeah.
And I'm a person that can help, take a little bit of that stress and burden off of just getting started and while you're here and when you go to the next place to have some connection to that.
I feel like you highlighted on that a little bit just now. But is there any other reasons that your services specifically are important to these families?
Yeah, so I am with you through the whole way, right? My little slogan is partner in education, and that's true. From the minute that you're finding out that you're coming into Fort Stewart, you reach out to me. I can help you get started with enrollment, registration, zoning, things like that. You are at the school, you're having issues, within the school maybe, or you want to know about transportation or after school programs because, you got a job and now you have a new thing that you have to solve.
Yeah.
I can help with that. You're getting ready to leave. You let me know. I can link you up with the SLO at the next location. So I'm with you from the minute you get boots on the ground here till you're on the plane to the next place. So I think that that's unique about the position and the fact that you have a resource here the whole time.
No, I bet that's a big relief to some families and helps alleviate that stress involved. Do you have any back to school updates that you would like to share with our audience?
Yeah, there's lots of stuff going on. So we have open houses and first day of schools. All of our websites for the local districts, so Liberty, Long, Bryan, Savannah, Chatham, Effingham, and Dodea have that stuff posted on there that we're talking like supply lists, bus transportation, bell schedules, things like that. You can find that there. But a couple things to know is Dodea, which is here at Fort Stewart. Those 3 schools are going to have a sneak a peek, also known as an open house, on August 1st from 1530 to 1700 for K through 6. The pre-K will be the August 15th from 1530 to 1700. The first day of school for Dodea is going to be August 4th, and that's going to be K through 6, and then August 18th for pre-K. Liberty County open house coming up is going to be the 5th of August from 1400 to 1800, and that's going to be at every single school. So they're not breaking it up by school. It's going to be just as the open time period for all Liberty County schools. And the first day of school will be the next day, August 6th. Long County, they're going to do their open house July 31st from 1500 to 1800. Again, every school will have it during that time. That's in Long County, with the first day being the August 4th. And then Bryan County, that's where you're going to want to go look at the website, because they have all the schools listed with different times and different dates. From July 31st to August 4th, from 1500 to 1800 are roughly the time frames. And then we also have Savannah Chatham, which again, they're a similar situation. It depends on the school you're going to. They run roughly from the 30th of July to the 1st of August with varying times, and a start date of August 4th. And again, you can find information about uniforms, bus transportation, bell times, supply lists, all on their respective districts' websites.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all that. It's definitely important information. Do you have any advice for families who are new to Fort Stewart, or maybe they've been here, but now their child is starting school, like newly kindergarten, preschool? For sure.
So that's a huge transition. And here actually in the state of Georgia, kindergarten is not required. So for some students, they could very well be going to first grade for the first time. And not had any early education experience. But for our pre-K students and our kindergartners that are starting school, get them on that sleep schedule, get them on the routine, have a specific place to keep your things at home so they know where those shoes are, those coats are, those backpacks go. Read with them at home, because early literacy is a huge gap that we're kind of seeing, across, and it makes a huge difference in child development. Go to school. Attendance is super important. It's illegal if you miss so many days of school, so you don't want to get caught up and have to go to jail because you aren't sending your child to school. So please, attend school regularly. It's important for their education. Time lost actually compounds over time. So if you look at students that miss a lot of school, they end up missing months of school when you're talking hours of education that is lost. So it's just interesting when you think about it over time and why attendance is so important. Those are some solid starts.
No, that's a lot of good advice.
Go to school, be on time,
The basic fundamentals.
Yeah, just like you do in normal life, right? You're setting the foundation for the next 12, 13 lifetime years, right? You're going to have to do this all the way through 12th grade. In college, maybe you get a break because you get to choose your schedules and you don't have to wake up at 6 o'clock. But when you're an adult in the real world, right, you don't really get to pick your work shift. So yeah, sometimes you just have to do it.
No, that's really good advice. I do have another question. It's more personal. How did you get involved in being the SLO and Child Youth Services?
So I've been with CYS since 2013. And I've kind of worked my way around. I've been working primarily in the child development centers. I've been a lead and a supervisory program specialist and an assistant director and an admin. Not most recently, but fairly recently, a trainer and curriculum specialist. And then, this position came about, and it was previously held by Mr. Cook, and he held it down for 15 years and then moved on to bigger and better things. And it was by chance that I just threw my name in, and here I am. I'm really excited to be here and give back to the community. It's been a lot of fun. I actually just did the Marne Palooza yesterday at Hunter Army Airfield. You'll see me at the one at Fort Stewart next week. So make sure y'all come out for that.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you. You sound very passionate about your job, which is always a good thing. Is there anything else that you'd like to share before we go?
No, I mean, I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to give back to the community. Like I said from the very beginning, I'm a military spouse. I know the struggles of moving every couple years. This is actually the first place we're going to be for more than 2 years. So that back-to-back PCSing is a lot. It gets even more complicated when you have kids that are in school and you're trying to figure out, like, what do I do with them? Where do I put them? How do I work? Is the school good? Because you read things online or you hear things, and it gets even more complicated because now you have other people's opinions in it. So it's hard. And I am very sympathetic and empathetic to the struggles that our military families face, because I face them too. So it's like a little soft spot for me to want to make sure I give excellent customer service. They get what they need. They get it promptly. And honestly, that they know I exist. So that's kind of why me being here, me going out and doing these community events, I want people to know that I'm here, I'm a resource, I'm happy to help you. We're supposed to be having 2 of me. So hopefully that happens soon, and we'll be able to divide and conquer even more, and cover some more ground and be even more of a presence.
Is there a good way for anybody to reach you, or?
Right. So you can email me, you can call me, you can show up at the office. I'm located at the MWR headquarters building, 778 Gulick Avenue, building 443 in the CYS complex, the back cubicle in the corner, but you'll find me. Honestly, though, email is probably one of the best ways to reach me. I'm super responsive on email, and that's just going to be melany.a.amato.naf@army.mil. Melany spelled with a Y. And then the phone number is going to be 571-801-0865. So that's going to be to the main line at CYS. There's always someone sitting at that desk to answer the phone during our operation hours, 7:30 to 4:30. It's easier to go through them than try to catch me at my desk because I am out and about.
You have a lot of jobs to fill, so yeah.
A lot of places to be.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. To stay up to date on Fort Stewart-Hunter Army Airfield activities, please follow us on social media and download the My Army Post app. I'm Kelsey Stieber, and that concludes this episode of the Marne Report. See you next week.
The My Army Post app is your one-stop source for all things Fort Stewart-Hunter Army Airfield. With Mappa at your fingertips, you'll never miss out on upcoming events, installation updates, facility and gate information, weather, shopping, and so much more. My Army Post is free from your phone's app store. Download today.